Welcome back. Yesterday we were able to send a bunch of HTTP requests to our Olama server, where the Olama server then used the LLM to generate a response. So again, I want to reiterate that Olama is not the LLM. Llama 3.2 is our LLM. Olama is just an application that exposes a front end for us to be able to access an LLM and generate text. So today we're actually going to now attempt to write some code, some Python code, to be able to interact with the Olama server through HTTP. And do you remember that we installed this dependency called requests right here in our Python project?
Yep.
Yeah. So we're going to actually make use of that. And one thing I always recommend is that when you are like trying to get to learn how, when you're trying to learn how to use like a new library or a function or whatever, some new technology, I always recommend that you start a new script just to be able to test that concept and not try to, kind of put it into your project right away, because all that causes is basically confusion, because you're, first of all, probably struggling to fit all this into your project. Second of all, you're learning new technology, and it just becomes overwhelming. So I recommend just creating new scripts. And in this case, I'm going to create a script for my own because I want to learn how to also use the request library properly and get an idea of what code I need in order to port back into the Study Buddy game. And oftentimes, if you polish your demo code, for example, enough, you can just do a straight copy and paste sometimes, as long as you're good with your variable naming. Does that make sense?
What do you mean direct copy and paste?
Oh, yeah. So literally, like, pretend that you're writing code here, and then you've tested out that Python script, right? If you're polishing this script up to that point, that demo code to a certain point, when you're ready to actually implement your own, like kind of just implement your project with that same type of logic, it's literally just pasting in whatever you just wrote in your demo.
Let me throw it back at you. So you're saying if my dictionary is correct and like formatted nicely, I could do a direct copy and paste into the function?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Thanks.
Yeah. So that's why there's like incentive for you to just write clean demo code, because clean demo code will usually lead to just real code at the end of the day. And that saves a lot of time, and that makes things a lot easier. So
yeah,
you get a lot of clarity and isolation too when you create your own script. So I'm just going to create a new Python script called lmdemo.py. And I'll just add it to Git. And this is what we're going to be running, okay? And so I'll just say print hello world here as usual, just to test that we have everything working as appropriate. Do you mind if I install the Vim plugin?
I don't mind. Actually, it'll be a nice refresher for me.
Okay, so what you can do is you can go settings from file here if you're on PyCharm, and then you can navigate to plugins, and you will type in idea Vim. No, idea Vim. Yes, Vim.
Oh, actually, what is Vim for those that don't know what Vim is?
Vim is just like okay. So there's two things. Vim is a text editor, but I also want this thing called Vim plugins. So this just a way to get sort of like the key movement and the motions the same in PyCharm as it would be in Vim. Vim's that text editor that you need to kind of use in terminal. It's not like I call it like, there's like two ways of text editing, right? The first way is cursor based, where you're using your mouse, and then there's I guess selection based, which is basically what Vim would be. I don't think we need to go too deep into that. Just know that Vim is just like another way to do text editing, and if you get really good at the keystrokes and emotions, you can get pretty fast with it. For me,
Okay.
what's that?
Oh, I just said okay.
Oh
Cool.
yeah. For me personally, I want it because I have pretty much kicked out Control S out of my like habits. So I don't know how to say without :W anymore. So
Okay.
um, yeah, and plus I also kicked away arrow key movement from my like motion. So it's hard for me to move around. Anyway, yeah, so you can just go to plugins and then go to marketplace here, type ID of them, and you can just install it, hit apply, and it should activate immediately. When you hit OK here, you'll see that you get a new status bar here that tells you what mode you're in. You're in normal mode for Vim. So okay, so I have this little demo script right now. It's called LLM demo.py. It's just a print hello world right now. So if I were to ls here, I can find my file right there. In output, I could just do Python LLM demo.py, and I get hello world. Simple as that, right? Okay, nothing interesting here. So let's actually start making our first request to our LLM, Olama. Okay, so what we need is we need requests. So I think it's just called requests, import requests. Okay, and that is going to bring down that request library. And let's actually look at some documentation. So Python requests. So requests here. Not good documentation. How about this one? Yes. So this is like the official Python requests documentation, and it's pretty easy. You just do requests. When you import requests, you do request dot. In this case, this makes a get request. So you just give the URL and then all the arguments to it. The arguments would be like JSON object. That could just be like a dictionary in this case. And you'll see what I mean later. So like if you want to make a post request, you'll do request stop post. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, and what you get back is just a response object. This person is very creative. They named it R. And it has like a lot of attributes associated with the HTTP requests. But the interesting one is the .json function in that response object that gives you back the JSON that we will force our LLM to give us back. Because remember, it doesn't natively give back JSON unless we force it to, right? So through a system prompt. Okay, whatever. Too much detail. Just know that this is how we get started. And then if we want to dive deeper in, we could always do a Control F in this documentation here. But I think we can learn as we go along because doc strings help us a lot. So, okay. So first things first, let's just say request stop post. What do we have? So we have 3 things here: URL, data, JSON params. So if I did this, if I typed URL, right? So we hovered over here. Okay, so URL is a string. And then down here, we see that URL is, was it? Yeah. So URL for the new request object. Okay, that's going to just be, in this case, HTTP localhost 114, was it 11431? 11434? Yeah, 11434. And then remember it was post API chat, right? So we do API chat here. Okay, so that's our URL. Now we need to actually send some payload. Remember we had sent a JSON payload that looks something like this?
Yep.
Okay, so how would we actually represent that? We can actually type all this text manually and send it as a text. Or we can actually send it as a dictionary, and then the requests library will automatically turn that that dictionary into a JSON. So it's very convenient. Yeah, it's very convenient. So what we can do is we can actually create like a payload type of dictionary So we can do payload equals like this. Okay. And then we can just add in our parameters. So I'm going to split this right. And I'm going to go here. So we have, what do we have here? We have model. And it'll be llama 3.2, 3B instruct Q8 underscore 0. And then we'll have stream to be false. And this is typical like Python dictionary. You already see this, right?
Mm-hmm.
The JIS, that's gonna be a list of more dictionaries.
Mm-hmm.
Role, user, content, hello there. Okay.
So
That's
if we added an attribute like that doesn't exist, would that still send?
an attribute. Oh, you mean like
Like
this?
like if we
ABC.
add yeah, or role under role we put ABC, like would that send or would there
Yes.
be an error?
No, that would send still. That would be
Okay.
converted to JSON. But remember, it's up to the server to interpret
Mm-hmm.
that, right? The
Okay.
server has to support these properties. If it doesn't, then depending on the developer of that server, they can either error out or just ignore it. I think Olama
Okay.
just ignores it. Yeah. So and just
Uh,
remember when it comes to this type of communication, it's always negotiated between the client and the server. They have to kind of like come to like an agreement of what type of messages they need to send to each other. And that's what we call this like an API documentation, right? So if
mhm.
you look at right here, there was like an API documentation. This is just like our contract, right?
Okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
this is what the server expects. As a client, you must send these things.
Okay, got
Okay.
it. Thanks.
Yeah, so this is our sample here. And I actually don't know how to send this as JSON. So I'm going to look at the requests here, the request library. And I'm just saying, well, okay, how about let's do a quick start. Okay, make a request. Okay, request.get, fine. How about request.post? Okay, this is data key value, right? This at first may look like JSON, right? Like this is how we would send JSON. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
However, that is not the case. What you need to know is that whenever you make a post request, there's actually two ways to make a post request and send data. First is through, the two primary ways that we like. I want to correct myself. Through a text body like this, sending JSON, or actually through a key value pair in a query string. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Which you can add here, like, model llama 3.2. Do you see how the query string is being built on the URL right there?
Yep.
Like right there, you see that? Up right here, right? So that's two ways, right? As it turns out, I believe this way here that you're seeing right now, this usage assumes this form, this request params. We don't want that, okay? We want it to be a JSON body instead.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I believe that if we type JSON here, that's how to get the JSON response. There should be a way to send the JSON. So right here, dumps, dumps. So
Mm-hmm.
we basically have we construct our payload, and then we do data equals JSON dumps, and then the dictionary. So we convert that dictionary to a string.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. So then we also want to send headers. Okay. And then I think that's also part of the library because we need to tell it that the content type, we need to add the content type to be application JSON, which is also what we did here with Bruno. Okay. So let's find out how we do that. So headers, we can just do headers. Okay, response headers. No, I want request headers. So custom headers. Let's just click here. Okay, it's just another object, dictionary that we pass in as an argument here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we can just do that. I mean, just do headers here, telling it that what we want to give back is, or what we want to request is a JSON format. So you're telling the server that, okay, this stuff here should be interpreted as JSON, the MIME type.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just a hint. These headers are just like, these are HTTP headers that basically tell the server like, here's how you interpret my incoming data stream, because it doesn't know what you're sending. Actually, it just sees a wall of text, but you need to tell the server how to read that text. Okay, so all it is just data equals. I need to import JSON, right? It's import JSON. Okay, I'll import JSON, and then I'll do dump s, right? And I'll do payload, and I'll just also include the headers like that. Okay, so that's going to be our post request right there. This will actually send a request to the old Llama server, but we need the response. So I'll just say res as a response variable. Okay, let me tighten this up a little bit. Okay. All right. I'm not sure if that's allowed in Python, but whatever. Okay, next I just want to print the res, and I just want to get the JSON like that. Let's see what happens. Yeah. So I'm going to save this. Okay. And then I'm going to run this again. So Python LLM demo. And I do get something back. Okay, that's obnoxious. Wait, why am I getting two things like this? Anyway, do you see this text here? That is actually what is this? This is actually the response from the LLM. Do you see that? Role assistant. Hello, how can I assist you today? Okay, so it turns out that this here, this response is in the JSON object format. I believe that just returns back a regular dictionary. So we can actually access, let's see, we can actually access the message object directly, I believe. So we can do something like this. Let's see what we get. And it should be cleaner now. Okay, right there. You see, we have a message, and the message is an object that consists of a role and a content. Okay, so now what if I just want the content?
Hello, how can I assist you today?
Yeah, so that's going to be straight up like this. He's probably he's probably getting annoyed at me. So
wait, it generated a new one?
Huh? Yeah, because I'm rerunning the code every single time.
Oh, okay. I didn't expect that. Okay, cool.
There is a way to get more or less more stable responses from the LLM. You can have it like not be as random. That's a thing that you need to tweak, but it's out of the scope for this project.
Okay, got it.
Okay, so I actually don't like how I did all this way. I'm going to write better code here. I'm going to say response res as JSON dict. Okay. And I'm going to say res.json like this. And then I'm going to say message content or response message content. How about this? LLM message, LLM response content. And I'll say res as JSON dict, get the message, get the content. And then I'll delete that. Print LLM response content like that. Okay, and it should work still. There you go. So far, so good?
Yep.
Okay, so that's pretty cool, right? We've communicated with the LLM through Python code. Okay. Now, here comes the fun part. What happens if we send our prompt? What if we want to send our prompts as a system message? Well, all it is something like this. We just add it here, correct? So if we want to do that, let's actually just write a role as system and also content. We want to create a new variable here. Let's say prompt. Let's make it empty. Okay. Let's make it an F string too. And this just substitute it like this. Make sense so far?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So we're saving. So we're saving the prompt, then adding to it, or is
Yeah, yeah, no, we're just assigning it as a variable. It's gonna be like a very long piece of text like that.
okay.
Yeah. I didn't know F strings were like this. Okay. Okay, so what I want to do now is I want to copy and paste this prompt. So if I were to, let's say, GG, Shift V, Shift G, yank, and just paste it here. Oops, you insert, Control Shift. Oops. How do I? Oh, I don't have that enabled. I haven't configured it yet. So I have to do P. Whatever. Okay. So F string all the way down here. Does it work like that? How do I do this?
I usually never use F strings. I'm not too sure.
Huh. Interesting. How about if I did it like that's weird. Okay. Well, let's just do it the old school way. Let's just see. Shift V, Shift G. How do I edit, copy, and then if I did this, paste, will it be smart enough? It's not smart enough. Okay, that sucks, but not all is lost. Let's just open the prompt text and read all of it in. So with open, what is this file? Let's see, copy path. What is this? Okay, let's just do this. Open code average dev projects Python study, but you know what I'm trying to do, right? I'm just trying to get. I'll just open it like this as F prompt equals what is this? F dot. I need help. I'm gonna look at my old code here.
Is it loads or
Something like that, right? fp.read. fp.read.
oops.
Hey, this is f.read. Okay, let's just print this prompt in case, just to see. Yeah. All right. So let's just test that. See if we got the text, and then okay, why? Oh, okay. All right. Home. Let's see. There we go. So we got it.
Okay.
And here we go. All right. So now, wait, why is it stalling? Is it waiting for LLM response? Oh yeah. See, it adhered to it. It adhered to it. Result false. It sent us that. Because our message here is messed up. It's following the rules of the prompt.
Oh,
So
okay.
here was our prompt, and then it looked at this message here, and it was like, wait, this is not okay. I'm going to send false now. So that's what I sent back. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's play. Let's do this. Now that we have a prompt, let's also create. And maybe I should be proper and say prompt is this. The default prompt will be you are a helpful assistant, so that in case if this doesn't load correctly. Okay. So now what I want to do is I want to create another variable as a user message, just so you know, F, and I'll do it's going to be something like question. What is the memory technology for Intel? obtain SSDs. Okay. Answer, we'll say 3D X point like this. And then we'll say is going to be cross point. Okay. And then what we want to do is we're going to replace this here with user message. So far, so good?
Yep.
Okay. So now we were to just run this again. So let's see. Result true. So far, so good? Okay, now let's take it up a notch. If I did questions like this, what is the memory technology for Intel Optane SSDs? I did answer would be 3DX point. And then I would say attempt is going to be cross point. Okay. At this point, I have something in a nice format. I could do something like this. Question. Do you see how it's all coming together? Answer. Attempt. Okay. So now, in iterative fashion, we've made this separate from the question and answer and attempt. So let's see if we still get the same results. Was that false? Ooh, why would it be false? Let's see what our user message looks like. Print user message. I think it's just because it wasn't in the right format. Oh yeah, look at this. I didn't add new lines. It matters apparently. And I don't think this
question, like the whole thing, if we didn't have the new line.
Yeah, it'll look like this. You see how it's all jumbled up?
The
LLM got confused. That's why it didn't know what to do, so it sent false.
Okay, got it.
Thanks. But that's a good thing though, right? Because that means that if it's not sure, it's leaning towards making you wrong. And that would be useful if you're studying because you don't want something to tell you that you're right, even though you're wrong. So we've had caused it to bias towards telling you you're wrong, which is a great thing, I think, for studying.
Yep.
Yeah, so now that we have the proper format like this, it should say true now. Okay, good. So far, so good?
Yeah, so far, so good.
Yeah, so let's remove that print and make it look like, oops. There you go. Oh, false again? Oh, true. Oh, wait a second. Oh, this model might be too dumb.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, so let's see here. Well, we're using 3.2, so it's okay. Because I'm doing that because I don't have a GPU. I'm using CPU. So let's just roll with it for now, and then let's try to make our. I think the one thing we should lean towards to learn how to do better is just make our prompt better. Let's just make our prompt better down the line. Right now, we're just being able to our goal is just to digest this type of response from the LLM. Let's who cares about accuracy for now? That's another thing.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So now that I have this, why don't we just turn this to JSON or a dictionary? So result is going to be taking this JSON here and doing was it JSON dot was it reads? It's reads, right? Yeah. Loads. Yeah, loads. Okay, load S. And then what we can do is we can print result, because that's the key. Okay, so if we did that, we get back false, which is fine. It'll probably be true now. If we do it enough time, we'll get true. So that's okay. there might be something wrong with our user message formatting. Is it okay we just take some time and just figure this out?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what if we just did this? F string,
Mhm.
question, just straight up like this, clean, like simple, you
Mhm.
know.
Would that influence the result?
No, because we told the LLM that this is the format it should expect.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking this influences the result.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I'm thinking this confusing like format is confusing the LLM.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. Okay. Oops. Wait, what am I printing out? Why does it print out? Okay, so we got it to print true. Can I clear this? Can I like actually disable this term? Ah, this is so much better. Okay, this is what I like. Okay, Python LLM demo the pie. It's so much simpler. There we go. I'm confusing myself with this new terminal thing. This is like tried and true. Okay, sorry, I was just really thrown off by the view. Okay, we're good. Okay, so let's build our message like this instead. It seems simpler and to the point. Okay, so what did we do? We basically loaded our prompt from a text file and sent it as a system message. And then we built a user message based off of these arguments here and sent that as a user message. We wrapped that into the message list, and then we sent it all as one post request and got back what the LLM wanted in Python Boolean because we
Mm-hmm.
formatted and I dissected it, right? So I'm gonna just go as far as to say I think we just do straight copy and paste and see what happens. What do you think?
Yeah, sounds like a good idea.
Yeah. So really, remember how we had this question answer attempt?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So really, can we just do something like this, where okay, forget about this. We don't need that anymore. We also don't need this anymore. And we can just do something like where we import requests. So import requests. We also need to import JSON. And what we need to do here is maybe have a prompt be loaded here. Okay. So with
Mm-hmm.
like, let's just do this. And then we can just do this and something like this for now. Okay. And then we can do self.prompt. How's that? Self.prompt.
Okay, sounds good.
Self.prompt. Okay. So now we have the prompt file loaded and everything's all good for now, just temporary. We can build our user message here. So we'll do user message equals f string question, new line, answer, new line, attempt, like that. Okay. Then we have our payload object here that we can just do this, yank, paste, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
instead of prompt, it's going to be self.prompt. Okay. And then we could just kind of create our headers here, copy that, paste. Then we have our requests here. We already imported that. We have all this dictionary stuff. Yank, paste. Okay, so far so good. And then we
Yep.
could just return result like this. Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, I think we can just test it. Test our game. We're back to testing our game. You see how easy it was? So
Yep.
just a copy and paste. Okay, so we do Python main.py. Your answer. I say OSI. And it says, you got it wrong. Better luck next time. Okay, what's OSI layer 6? Is it presentation layer? And let's make a typo. Like that. You got it right.
Cool. So it
Yeah,
gives it some flexibility or a margin
yeah,
of
yeah.
error.
Yeah, remember now it's the LLM that is actually interpreting your answer. You don't have to write all that code to like check to see if it's slightly wrong, contextually correct, semantically correct. It's the LLM will do that all for you because it's such a good natural language processor.
Okay,
That's
nice.
impressive, right? I can say
Yeah.
this is the maybe this is too much for it for this type of model. Let's see. You got it right. There we go.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. How about
Yeah.
with one S
Okay, with one S. Let's do it. How about
or
this? What should we answer for OSI layer 6? What do you want me to answer?
transports with two S layer or something?
Transports layer. But this
Yeah.
is gonna be, so you know that this
Or
is the presentation, right?
sorry, presentations with two S.
Uh-huh. Like this?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's say you you got it wrong.
Oh, okay. I was pushing it. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So, but I'll tell you this, I think if we had a bigger model,
Mhm.
this would be correct. I have a feeling our model is just too small.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah. So yeah, that's about it for today. I mean, we have a flow now. Let's work on polish next time, and then see if we can actually turn this LLM stuff, all this code here, into its own class. So we don't have this spaghetti code right here.
Okay, sounds good.
Cool. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks. Bye.